Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be going over some of my most wanted death battles of all time. And again, if you like the content you see, let me know in the comments below and leave me other suggestions that I should do for death battle content that aren't trailers, since I'm kind of getting burnt out and that's why I'm doing these. And I'm having a fucking blast making this type of content. It has honestly been so fun. But anyway, enough of me rambling like an idiot. Here are some matchups that I really want to happen one day on Death Battle. And again, I hope you enjoy the video. Let me know in the comments below if you do. But anyway, let's get into the list. So, starting off, this list is a matchup I grew a lot on, that being Emperor Joker versus King Goblin. Now, I know we're going to get Joker versus Green Goblin at one point in time, but this should be the ideal matchup. Because just them regular Joker versus regular Goblin is so boring. It's the epitome of bland and uninteresting. With this, there is so much you can do with the animation, and again, it uses two different versions of the characters, which I fucking love. And again, the animation potential that they could have could be astounding. Like, it literally could be endless what they could do with this potential. And if you know what both of them can do, you know they could get fucking insane with this matchup. And again, if they're going to do this matchup, they should do this version. Since Death Battle has done versions of characters before, so I don't know why they wouldn't go with the better matchup being Emperor Joker versus King Goblin. So, following Emperor Joker versus King Goblin, we have another Marvel vs. DC matchup, that being Mysterio versus Scarecrow. One of the only actual few good Marvel vs. DC fights we have left. And kind of similar to my last point, this fight has so much creative potential. The animation potential they could go with. The fact is that you could possibly have this fight change animation styles is really cool and unique that they could go with. And I know fans love seeing fights that change animation styles. I think it's cool that they could do that, and I feel like this fight is perfectly up that alleyway. And I feel like if they did this, the music they could go with would be really good. And Mysterio and Scarecrow are both kind of interesting characters, and you could dive into their psychology and their tactics, which I feel like would low-key be really interesting to see Mysterio's illusions versus Scarecrow's fear toxin. But, that's just me. Everyone's entitled to what they believe. I believe Mysterio versus Scarecrow would be a pretty damn good episode if they were to do it. So coming in next, we have Gordon Freeman from Half-Life versus Isaac Clarke from Dead Space. A matchup that grew on me kind of recently, and I feel like if Death Battle nailed this atmosphere, you could have something really special. Like, Dead Space has a phenomenal atmosphere to it, and the fact is that, like, you could have them also be killing enemies along the way, would low-key bring a lot of life to it, and make it something really special. And also the fact is, like, they both have unique weapons they could use off of each other. Like, Isaac Clarke has a shit ton of cool weapons that you could use, so does Gordon Freeman to a degree. And also, like, if they nailed the music correctly and the atmosphere, you could have something really special. And I don't know if they're going to have Isaac Clarke have any dialogue, since if they're going off of the original, Isaac Clarke doesn't really talk at all. But if they're going more off of the remake, which I feel like they might for banner potential, it would low-key be pretty cool to see. And coming in next, we have Ash Ketchum from Pokemon versus Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh! I've wanted this matchup for so long. The banner potential, the music. There's a lot looking forward to this. There's a lot of shit you can do. Like, there's a bunch of cool Pokemon that can play off of Yu-Gi-Oh's cards. And overall, if they do this justice, it would be so cool, since a lot of people want this matchup for years. And I just feel like this would be the time to do so. Ash vs. Yugi is just a really fucking cool and unique idea that I hope one day they could do and bring justice to. And coming in next, we have Cuphead versus Bendy. Now, if rumors are true, this is going to happen either this or the season finale, apparently. And I'm all for it. The DBX was fucking amazing and a masterpiece of animation work. And I'm scared that they're not going to be able to keep, light a candle to that episode. But this fight is so cool. It has so much animation potential. The animation style they could go with would be so cool. The music would be so cool. Bendy would be so cool to see on Death Battle, and the animation style that could change between the two would be honestly really cool. And if they're doing it for the season finale or the next time, I really hope that they do it justice. And coming in next, we have Delson R from the Infamous series versus Miles Morales strictly from the PlayStation / Insomniac version. I just feel like overall this works a lot better simply because they're both PlayStation exclusives. That's about why I prefer it and all. And also the fact is that it's closer. And I feel like Delson R would be so perfect for Death Battle simply because of his power set. Like he could switch in between fire, neon, rock. If you know Delson R's abilities, you know where I'm going with this. I feel like having a character that could swap in between powers would low-key be very cool to see. And the fact is that you could have him try to, I guess, steal Miles' abilities would low-key be pretty interesting to see. But yeah, that's just what I think about this matchup. I feel like, personally, it'd be pretty cool to see. And next we have Etrigan the Demon versus Devilman from Devilman. Devilman, in my opinion, is long overdue for a death battle. And if he is on death battle, I think he's most likely going to fight Etrigan since, there's like no one else. Denji's fighting Yuta, and I feel like this is his best option. And if they can nail Devilman's transformation scene like they did in Devilman Crybaby, which is one of my all-time favorite scenes, it's instantly going to be one of the best fights ever. And especially if this is done in 3D, it would go really, really hard. And especially if they can nail the music, it would go so hard for a Halloween episode. It would honestly be so incredible. And Etrigan is a pretty underused DC character in my opinion, and I feel like Death Battle could bring light and also bring in some possible new fans of the characters. Is another reason why I feel this episode would be really good. And following that, we have McCree versus Eren Block, another Overwatch and Mortal Kombat matchup. And I feel like we are long overdue for a Western-themed fight, and this fight nails that perfectly to a T. You could have such a cool ending with them doing a final showdown when they both draw their guns and get off one final shot. I feel like the ending would be really solid. And also I feel like the music would go so incredibly hard since it would be like a Western themed cowboy showdown type of music. And I feel like that would be so cool hearing. You could have them like hide behind barrels, hide behind houses, like in a Western standoff type thing. I feel like it'd be very cool scene and very interesting. And next, in my opinion, is a long overdue matchup being Kira versus Adachi. This matchup you could honestly do a lot with since they both have really creative abilities. And also, the ending could be really cool if done correctly, since you could obviously have a really good twist and kill. And let's not forget that the music for this fight would honestly slap so hard. And also, Persona needs a fucking another death battle. It's been freaking years since they have an appearance, and this fight would honestly be so good and so epic. And following that, we have Daryl Dixon from The Walking Dead versus Deacon St. John from Days Gone. Two badass motorcycling zombie killers. Honestly, I just really think this would be a fun and unique matchup. You could have them both fight on their motorcycles, then change it to hand-to-hand, or however you really want. I just honestly think it's a pretty cool fight, and also I just really like Days Gone, and I feel like it needs more love. But if that doesn't work, Joel Miller versus Rick Grimes also would be a good Walking Dead matchup that I want to see one day. And also, you could do this in live action, and it would go so fucking hard. Like, this matchup would honestly be the perfect live action matchup they could do that is not a Marvel versus DC matchup. And following that, we have John Constantine versus Radu. Overall, if you just give me a cool magic-themed death battle, I'm really happy for it. And this fight has that in spades, and there's a lot you could actually do with the animation style. And also the music could also go pretty damn hard. And coming in next, we have Morgan Yu from Prey versus Jack Ryan from Bioshock. This mostly comes out of recency bias, since I just finished Prey a little while ago. Overall, pretty good game, but I low-key feel like there's a lot you could do with this fight. Jack and Morgan have pretty unique power sets that you could really use. The atmosphere, if done correctly, the setting, if done, could also be really interesting to see. The music, I feel like, could be something different and new. Overall, I feel like their powers would honestly bounce off each other pretty well and pretty interesting. But yeah, I just mostly want to see this out of recency bias, because I just beat Prey, and Prey overall is a pretty good game. And also, it's a less talked about game that I feel like Death Battle could bring more light on, and possibly bring in new fans of. And on the same subject of Bioshock, we have Delta versus Nemesis. Resident Evil needs another death battle, and Bioshock just needs to be on death battle at this point. And I feel like this would be the perfect matchup to do so. If you just give me two giant monsters beating the living shit out of each other, I would be so happy. That is exactly what I want to see. Two giant monsters beating the living shit out of each other. The music I could hear being really well. The atmosphere, the gore, the kill, all of that I feel like would go so well in this fight. And next we have Archie Knuckles versus the Jugernaut. Under the same statistic as Nemesis versus Delta, if you just give me two characters that are just gonna beat the shit out of each other, I'm completely fine with that. And also, Jugernaut has been long overdue for a death battle. And this is probably the matchup they're gonna go with, which I'm fine with now. Since I just want to see Jugernaut beat the shit out of people on death battle, which would be low-key really cool to see. Their powers, I feel like, would go off each other really well, especially if they're going to give Jugernaut like his devil form. I feel like it would go very well. The music, while not probably going to be the best, would probably be something pretty interesting to listen to. And coming in next, we have my second most wanted death battle of all time, being Ichigo from Bleach versus Yusuke Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho. Yu Yu Hakusho is overdue for a second death battle, and I feel like this would be the perfect fight that they could go with for Yusuke. It's 10 times better than fucking Gon, which is Yusuke. That's fucking terrible. But Yusuke's banter in this fight would be incredible. Yeah, Ichigo's probably going to obliterate, but it's really cool just seeing two of my favorite characters fighting each other on death battle. I love this fight. The music would be incredible. The animation potential could be really good. We could have, like, whoa, what is it? Ichigo's, like, Mugetsu form versus Yusuke's demon form, I feel like would go very, very hard against each other. So overall, I just want to glaze this matchup since it's my second most wanted of all time. And I love Yusuke and I love Ichigo. I love both franchises. Because Yu Yu Hakusho means just so much to me as a person, and I honestly kind of feel like it deserves another episode on Death Battle. And coming in next, we have a matchup that grew on me really recently, that being Yuji Itadori from Jujutsu Kaisen versus Denji from Chainsaw Man. I started to really like this matchup after how well Gojo vs. Makima turned out, which surprised the fuck out of me. Like, I don't know if they're going to be using Sukuna for Yuji in this fight, but even if they don't, there's so much you could go with. It will be so fucking cool if they did it exactly like Gojo vs. Makima, which was awesome. A banger soundtrack could happen. The kill could be really interesting. Overall, this would be like a really good Halloween-themed episode if they were to do it one day. And coming in next is another Marvel vs. DC fight, being the Fantastic Four versus the Doom Patrol. Now, I feel like I was originally going to have the Incredibles versus the Fantastic Four on here, but then I kind of realized seeing two children basically get murdered would low-key kind of be a little distasteful. And also the fact is that they might have Jack and killing a baby would low-key be really distasteful to see on Death Battle. And overall, the Doom Patrol just kind of seems to work better. The soundtrack could be very interesting. The matchup pairing, in my opinion, could be very unique. Overall, there's just a lot you can do, and this works so much better than just having them individually on Death Battle. And coming in next, we have Kratos from the God of War franchise versus Ashura from Ashura's Wrath. Kratos is long overdue for a return, and this is by far his best matchup. You could have such a cool kill. You could have such cool weapon play, since if you get Kratos off his weapons, it has a unique fight to it. But overall, it doesn't really matter. Ashura's still going to end up winning. This fight would be so epic in 3D, and the music, again, would be a fucking banger of a soundtrack. And almost to the last one, we have Tom the Cat versus Wy Coyote. Now this one I grew a lot on after the event of Scooby-Doo vs. Courage, since there's a lot you could fucking do with it. You give me two cartoony characters that are gonna kill each other, or at least try to. You have me on board. The soundtrack could be really interesting. This fight would obviously be hand-drawn like Scooby-Doo vs. Courage. And overall, you have me on board. You have me on board with two cartoony characters that I love, trying to find a way to kill each other. And to wrap up my last most wanted, we all know Ghost Rider vs. Spawn is my most wanted matchup of all time. I fucking love Ghost Rider. Spawn is a fucking awesome badass, and he is long overdue for a return. Same with Ghost Rider. I don't know why the fuck they did Lobo. Ghost Rider vs. Spawn has the potential to be fucking amazing. Killer soundtrack, killer animation, and if we're gonna go with Devon Spawn, it adds so much more potential to the debate. And it adds so much more animation potential. It will be such a fucking epic fight. I really want to see this one day. And I really hope that Death Battle can do it justice and not fucking lowball Ghost Rider like they did last time. Ghost Rider has so much impressive feats they could go over, and it would make the rundown super interesting to hear. And that wraps up the video. I did not expect this video to be this long. I'm fucking sorry on that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. For those of you who watched till the end, it means a fucking lot to me. But yeah, if you want to see more videos like this, just let me know in the comments below and I'll make a video on it. But anyway, take care. Thank you all so much for watching, and have an amazing rest of your day.